Newly qualified drivers under the age of 25 could be banned from driving others as part of a graduated driving licence plan, which is being taken seriously by the government.
The ban would last between 6 and 12 months after they pass their test, and it's in a bid to cut down on the number of car crashes. But is it right to limit young drivers' rights?
We're joined now by journalist Eleanor Mills. Now, Eleanor has a child of 17 who's learning to drive and a child of 20 who is learning to drive. And Eleanor thinks she does not want her kids to then, once they've passed their test, get their kids, their friends, into the car. But singer and presenter Tallia Storm is 24, has just passed her test and says anyone over the age of 17, passed your test, should be allowed to have friends in the car. The government says it's too dangerous, possibly. Possibly.
I think we don't need to initiate draconian reform for the masses because of the reckless behaviour of a few. So I am 24, I am exactly this demographic that they're saying it's unsafe. I passed under a year ago, so I'm a new driver. But when I tell you, I failed this twice, I passed on my third, so I'd done over 300 hours. Like, when I tell you, when I was ready, I passed, I was ready for that road. And you have to think, there's 1.5 million tests taken every year for under 25s, and I think only 738,000 of them actually pass. So the test is tough. So by all means, if we are really talking about, fatalities, awful, tragic, let's make the test harder. Let's not generalise, let's not stereotype, let's not blame everybody under 25 for these problems. The stats are bad. They are very, very bad. But at the same time, I'm responsible. I wouldn't be able to function if I didn't, car share. I borrow my mum's car. I don't even own a car. Like, cost of living crisis.
But Eleanor, you wouldn't get in a car with Tallia.
It's not that I wouldn't get in the car with Tallia, but the statistics show really clearly that young people are much more at risk of dangerous collisions. So they make up 7% of all licence holders. They're involved in 21% of all collisions involving people who are killed or seriously injured. And a system like this has been brought in Australia and in New Zealand, and it's cut fatal crashes by 23% amongst this age group. So as a mother, that I don't think that, and there's very clear evidence around brain chemistry that people aged 17 to 24 have a differently wired prefrontal cortex, which is all about consequences and risk.
Can't generalise.
And that they're more emotional, and they're much more likely to overestimate their abilities and underestimate the risk that they're actually in. So all we're saying is, for the first year, you shouldn't be able to drive with loads of passengers in the car, and it shows that they're 4 times more likely to have a crash if they've got a car full of friends than they are if they're driving on their own.
Fight back, Tallia.
No, I think, young people, we go to uni, we go to work, we can't afford to all have our own car. I don't have a car, and I'm 24, and I'd like to think I'm quite successful. So I rely on my mum lending me her car. I drop her at work, and then I'm on the road. I take my little brothers to school. My mum wouldn't have been able to function if my sister, who's a year older, wasn't driving bang on the dot at 18. My sister did the school run almost every day.
Eleanor, you must be, in your mind, thinking about a car full of 17, 18-year-olds on their way to a festival.
Yeah, on their way to a party.
Legs out the back of the car.
Music blaring.
We all did that. I learnt to drive as soon as I was 17.
But it's very
I would have 10 people in my car. I would have 10 people in my car driving around. It was really dangerous. Partly because I'm a grown-up who knows how irresponsible 17-year-olds can be.
Did you have any accidents?
I never actually had an accident, but I could easily have done. And there's been a spate of terrible crashes recently. And if you think that 2 young people every week are killed in a car crash, these are young drivers. If we could bring in a rule which just said you can't take passengers in the first year, we could cut all those families.
But what do you make of Talia's point that that is a proportion of the problem? But what about Talia's taking her siblings to school? That would stop her being able to help out her mum.
That's absolute rubbish. That's not how the rule works. It's about a night-time curfew.
A night-time
It's a night-time curfew.
Okay.
It's not all...
But we all don't have this luxury of having our own cars. This is the point.
But Tallia, if you look at the actual
You just said you took 10 people in your cars. I'm not taking 10 people in my car. You're lucky if I've just got my sibling.
No, I know,
I'm a very, very responsible driver. If anything, I'm like this. I'm like taking it seriously, you know?
Statistics are not about personalities like you. They're about
No, not personality. I'm saying statistics are very emotional, but at the same time, we have to have...
Your story is emotional. Statistics are facts.
Yes, but they cause an emotion. They're very emotional. Like, this is very...
it's saying
when we're
that-
talking
You mean
about
it's
fatality-
alarmist?
Yeah, I think if
It's
we're
not
talking about
alarmist, it's
any
just the facts.
fatality, that is... One fatality is enough. Like, that's more than enough. You
No,
can't
I'm
have
saying
that.
there are 2 fatalities a week, and bringing in a slight tweak to the rules could save all those families.
But there are
going
loads
through
of
all that
fatalities
hard
of drivers over 25, and to be honest, I'd go in the car with Tallia because she sounds like she's done lots of practice.
I've earned the right for that.
It's about
road.
Tallia, Ed. It's about young people generally.
No, but you'd be stopping
Statistics
Tallia
show
driving
that-
her friends.
No, that's not
You
what's
would.
happening at all.
Let's just make
Only
the
late
driving
at
test
night.
harder.
Eleanor
would-
wants to
Kids in
stop
the first year.
herself
Let's work-
when she was 17 and had 10 people in the car.
You would
Right.
be stopping Tallia driving.
No, Talia is obviously a brilliant driver.
Tallia's an exception
Like
to the
many
law.
others
But
out
most
there.
young
Okay,
people
okay.
are not very
Come on.
sensible.
We asked you on Twitter if drivers under the age... I need to do an emergency stop. There we go. Should drivers under the age of 25 be banned from giving lifts? 41% of you said yes, 59% no.
God.
Let the system carry on as it does.
Tallia's won it.
Thank you both very much indeed.
Very
It's under
good.
consideration, serious consideration by the government.